going on, guys? My name is Jeremiah, and today's interview is about to be exciting. Now, I don't want this intro very, very long because this interview is pretty long, guys. It's about 30 minutes. So, guys, today we are interviewing Alex Gracia. I've been working 2 months to try to get this interview, so I'm super excited. I'm really excited to show you guys this interview. I've had a little troubles trying to get it uploaded, my screen recording failed, so I have to go off of the Skype recording, but it's going to be a great interview, guys. So that's why the voice and the video is a little bit of a lag, because I have to use the Skype's version and not my version, unfortunately. But if you guys do enjoy this, make sure to slap a like, and thank you so much, Alex, for doing this interview with me, and let's jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Alex on the line. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I like your hair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What made you want to dye your hair pink?
Yeah, what's so crazy with my hair is I never ever wanted anything other than natural colored hair. So it's always been black or brown. The most I'd done is blonde highlights and stuff. But I think when I started wrestling and I just fully was trying to become really embrace the pink dream, I was just okay, how do I make myself stand out even more? I was there's no question, I need to color my hair pink, and I just went for it.
What color is your natural hair color?
So it's kind of a dark brown black. It's very dark. Yeah, those Latin features.
Do you want to have your pink hair for a while, or is that a long-term thing, or what's that?
You're this has been a controversy all the time. I'm I want to color my hair. And I'm just I kind of want to go back to my natural hair color. I kind of want to try this, but I don't know. I can't see myself changing it for a while, but I'm trying to think of other ways that would give me the opportunity to change it, but it would still make sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you were doing a match, you could always have a loser has to dye their hair. I don't know, something weird like that, because they always do matches stipulations.
I was thinking in October, if I did blonde, I could have a Latin Barbie gimmick for a month or something, and that might be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Speaking of pro wrestling, what made you start watching it as when you first started watching it, and then what made you actually want to become a wrestler?
Yeah, so I mean, my family had watched it all the time. I didn't watch it that often, but I was around it. I grew up totally embraced in softball. That was my 24/7, what I did 7 days a week. I wanted to go to the Olympics and had all these big dreams. I'm I want to be Jenny Finch and stuff. But yeah, it was just always there, and it looked cool, and my family loved it. And they would just always tell me once I got older, my cousins and stuff and family members that watched it often, they're I could so see Alex doing this. This looks like something that Alex would do. And I'm just yeah, okay, because my mind was always other places. And I had just gotten to a place where I was you know what, I am going to try it. And I tried it, and I never left.
Who did you watch growing up that really inspired you, that you really loved watching?
So I've always had a fascination with lucha libre. So I've loved Rey Mysterio, because of course he was more mainstream, but I mean, of course my cousin and stuff, he was always big John Cena, The Rock, all the big stars and stuff. But yeah, I think just seeing where it took their careers afterwards too also kind of intrigued me with it. I mean, look how big of a star The Rock is, and John Cena. It gave them the possibility to branch out and do so many other things from wrestling.
Oh yeah. So when you started wrestling, was the pain for you taking the bumps? Because I used to do it in 2017. I know. So was that hard for you to adapt to at all, or no? Was it for you?
Yeah, it's definitely different than anything else you're ever gonna do. But I mean, even when I learned how to run the ropes, it looked like I had whip marks across my back, because I had just bruises and stuff. So it was something that I'm just it's weird that it's now you don't get hurt as much, as far as the bruising, and you're just okay, is my body just this giant callus now? It's kind of freaky. that you
Yeah.
don't get as much pain now from it that you did like when you first did it.
Mhm. Was there a move that like was difficult for you to get used to, like the front flip bumps or like top rope bumps at all for you?
I could not do a back roll to save my life. Like I don't know what I was doing and I don't know why. It's like I picked up like other basic things like pretty quickly, but yeah, that was probably like the one where I was just like I don't know. I was like I'm not getting this. Like and then you would see like different people do it and there's so many different ways like to do it and so it was just like kind of adjusting like oh, okay, now I finally got it.
Yeah, for me, it was always the front flip that like head over heel. Like I could do that on a trampoline, but on a ring, it's just so I don't know something about it's just so scary to take it, and you I don't know it's so different.
It
So
is weird. Like I could like front flip all day long, but I have this like big fear with going backwards. Like I'm just like anything backwards, I'm like, no, no, not for me.
uh, um, and so when you were told that you got to wrestle in AEW, what was your reaction to that news?
I mean, it was super exciting because I mean, like you had gone like the whole summer not really doing anything and not knowing like what was next and stuff. So I think it was a little bit of a shock and like I wasn't really like prepared for it, but it definitely was a great opportunity and I just like went in and it gave me something to focus on again that I could like get motivated for. So I was really excited that I was able to like feel that like excitement again.
Wait, so are you signed by them, or was it like just whenever they want you to come around, they have you come around? Like, how does that work? Because I know there's a lot of people who are on Dark and that.
Yeah, no, I not signed anywhere, but yeah, like when you see people there like consistently, it's I'm not sure everyone's situation is differently, but for me it was just kind of consistently getting like called back.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, that's all it was.
So, who's been your favorite person to work with in the wrestling matches?
I don't know. I feel like I've been able to be with like a lot of great people, and there's so many like other people I want to work with too. But oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm so bad with these questions.
You're good. I've seen you wrestle Taya Kani, I think was her name. Is that how you say her
Yes.
last name? Did you enjoy working with her?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because she brings like a different style to it, and I think that's really cool. Because of course, like when she was um oversigned in the other place, like you watch these people and you're just like, I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to wrestle them because you just might not be working in the same company. So that was cool that I was able to do that.
Is there any names that are in AEW that you definitely want to work with in the future?
Um, I mean, I think Serena would be a really great person to work with, and so like she's like cross markets with NWA, of course. So I think there is like a possibility for something like that. But I mean, like someone at her level, I think it really is just someone who she's gonna make you step your game up.
Oh yeah. And so is what is your ultimate goal with wrestling? I know you were talking about like the Rock stuff, how they eventually venture off. Do you want to get to a point where you can go off into do different things like movies and stuff? And then also with wrestling, what is your ultimate goal in the wrestling world too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I have so many um big goals in life that aren't wrestling related. So it's like I would love to like have a platform big enough because it's like I've always wanted to have like what would be like the Pink Dream brand and like maybe have like clothing for little girls and like I don't know like if you remember but like a long time ago like Mary Kate and Ashley and like Hillary Duff like they all had like their own brands like in Target and I would always
Oh,
like I had my like Hillary Duff bedspread and like
yeah.
lamp and like I would want like all the Mary Kate and Ashley like hair tools and so I would love to have like a brand like that, mostly geared for like little girls. And then like I really want to write a novel because I was gonna go to school for creative writing before I went to um, started wrestling. So, but yeah, I'm just like I want to do everything.
Have you thought about doing YouTube then? Because that can do like you can have your own brand. Like I know Sammy's done very good with that, and then there's other big YouTubers like KSI, the Paul brothers, and all them. Like, have you thought about doing that?
Yeah, so before I actually started wrestling, I was doing vlogs very like consistently, like especially I used to live in Dallas, so I would like be really good about putting one out like every week. And then like it just got busy and I'm just like, well, this is the time to do it, of course. I just need to get like the right equipment again because I'm really big about like I want it to like look like a good production and
Yeah.
like my camera's just not as good quality as I thought it once was. And so, but yeah, I definitely need to like get started back on that again. I get people all the time, they're just like, why aren't you like doing your vlogs anymore? And I'm just like, I wish I had someone to edit for me. Like, I know how to edit, but that's like the boring part. Like,
Oh,
I could shoot it all day, but I'm just like, I just want to give someone all the film and be like, okay, now you do it. Cause I'm like, I could sit there for 6 hours just editing.
yeah. Well, whenever I edit my videos, they'll take like forever, and then there's just I wish I could have an editor, but I never know where to find them or how much they're gonna cost, and then
Yeah.
but there's some like editors who can take literally anything and make it like so good. It's really crazy what
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm just like, y'all have the time to do that. Like, let me
yeah.
just give you my stuff and you make the story.
Are you into modeling at all? I know in your Instagram, you have a lot of modeling photos.
Uh, it's just kind of like more for like self promotion or especially like I try to take the time like so if there are like people who send me like free items to like promote their stuff or whatever, like I really try to take it seriously and get like I think you can really notice like a difference when like you have actual like photographers taking your pictures versus like yourself or like through a phone. So I don't know. I just like it to like I like all of a sudden one gets canceled and then another gets canceled and then another gets canceled and then it's like okay now we're canceled through June and then you're just like and they're like but we're gonna come back in July and then July comes and they're like oh no we're canceled again and so it was really hard to keep motivation like through that time because you're just like is it ever gonna start again and so it's really hard to like have that consistency when you don't have anything going on versus when you do so you do have to like be a lot more strong-minded and disciplined.
I know that a lot of places are opening up, and I think it's July 4th that they said the date was, but I'm not exactly sure. Do you have any plans for the rest of this year to do anything with wrestling, like going forward?
Oh yeah, like I have a match next month and then I mean we're just getting back into it again. So everything's starting to roll, but oh yeah, definitely like planning to be like wrestling regularly from here on out.
Yeah, that's good. So just a question about just your experience with wrestling, because I've always wondered this, because I haven't done it long enough to really get the feeling. So when you're doing matches, are you in pain all the time, or is your body like, are you constantly in pain, or how does that work? Because I hear people say that they're always in pain, but like is that are you always in pain? Because that sounds like it would hurt. I don't know.
I don't know. It probably varies like person to person and like match to match, like because there are
Yeah.
things that like really hurt.
Yeah, like I've talked to a lot of people. They're like like I did Seth Rollins. He said he's always in pain because I guess he does matches where it's like I think he wrestles like before the pandemic 6 times a week. So it's like
Oh
that
yeah, so you're never
a lot.
able to like recover.
Is
Yeah.
your body in pain nonstop, or do you still get the luxuries to not be in pain 24/7?
I think you just have to take care of yourself and just really like be disciplined to be like, okay, like see the importance of stretching and also like your nutrition and um, getting kind of like all those like therapeutic things that you need to do like for your body. Cause yeah, when you're doing it like super often and consistently, it is going to take a toll on you.
Mm. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Have you had any injuries at all in your career?
Luckily not anything major.
That's good.
So yeah, um, had injuries, but nothing that was able to like heal over time. So I'm really thankful for that.
So there was recently the blood and guts match. If they had a women's blood and guts match, would you want to be a part of that, or is that
Oh
something you
yeah, absolutely.
would?
I so would. Yeah.
That seems like fun. Um, have you ever been in a steel cage match or all? Like, what's the craziest match you think you've had in your career?
Um, I haven't done like anything really that crazy yet. I mean, definitely like had matches where I did get like nose busted and stuff like that, but no,
Oh,
I'm all for doing the crazy stuff. It'll happen.
that's cool. I know, because I know we were talking about the YouTube, you vlogging. I know Sammy Guevara, before he made it in the AEW, he's like vlogged everything. So it's kind
Yeah.
of crazy, all the crazy stuff he was doing before he even made it into like the big companies. Like
Oh
he's
yeah.
will do anything, I feel like. Have you got to meet him at all?
Oh yeah, he was actually um my neighbor and stuff because we're both like Texas people.
Oh,
So
really?
so yeah. Like especially all throughout like the indies too. Like all of us like in Texas, like we are all together and then so it's really cool to see like when people are like making it in the big time because like the wrestling tech like the culture of wrestling in Texas is just like it's so weird because there's so much of it and it's such a big state. Like we're all like super close. Like it does feel like a high school in a sense. Like
What wrestling school did you go to in Houston? Was it the Booker T wrestling school?
in Houston, yeah, that was the second school I went to. So my first one was Texas Wrestling Academy in San Antonio, and then I was there for like less than a year. Um, and, and then I had gone to Stardom in Japan, and then I went to Booker's right
That,
after that.
that's cool. Did you get to actually, was Booker there when you were training, or did he have trainers there because he was doing other things? Or,
Oh, like Booker had like his days when he would come, so it was so we would see him at least once a week.
uh,
He would come in because like of course like he was on the road traveling and he did have has his job with like WWE still. But we would have like days where it's like, oh, like Thursday, it's like your little dog is so
yeah,
cute.
Premium.
I can't wait to have a dog.
Yeah,
Um,
he's really small.
yeah, yeah. I can't decide if I want a small dog or a big dog. I'm just gonna let it pick me, I guess.
I feel like my girlfriend has a big dog and I have a small dog. I feel like small dogs are very hyper. See, I have a high energy, so
Yeah,
I love having a dog that's very hyper, but it just depends on people's personalities, I think, for most of the time.
yeah, yeah. That's cute though. I love like the dynamic of big dogs and small dogs too, like having both.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, they really. She actually scares the big dogs, so I don't know how that works out. But like, he tries to eat her food, and she'll like bark at him, and he gets scared of her, and it's like, I don't know why he's so scared of her.
That's so funny.
What dog would you want if you got one?
I don't know, like I know like what dogs I like, but like I definitely want to adopt when it's time. Um, but like I love like huskies
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but like I love like so my brother and his wife like they have Yorkies and I'm just like I love them too, but I don't know. I've been told multiple times like that like when you go to the shelter, like you just gotta go and like the
Yeah.
dog will like pick you. And I feel like if they pick me, I'm gonna be like, I love you. Come home.
Yeah, the shelters are so hard to go to because anytime I go, I feel like I want to adopt everyone. Like it's so hard to.
Yeah.
It's just so hard because you see all of them, you want all of them. It's hard to
Yeah.
pick.
Well, I had
So
rescued my cat like in college and like it was straight. We saw each other. I was like connection like I wasn't even supposed to get an animal that day. I was like on my way to work and I stopped there and I saw her and I was like, nope, I'm not letting her go. She's coming with me. She's my little princess.
that's awesome. When you were so what would your advice be to people who are trying to become wrestlers to make it and get noticed by like companies like AEW, like how you did? What would your advice be?
I would just say really put an effort into like your brand and stuff, and like part of your brand like is your fitness. And I think like a lot of people go in and they don't want to put in what I think like the physical side of it as much.
Yeah.
But I know like I started off like it's weird too, because you hear different ways people train and like how they got into wrestling. But my trainer originally was like very like old school, like they really tried to like kill you physically before you could even like step in the ring. So it gave you a really big like appreciation and really made you feel like, okay, like you have to really want it if you're gonna do that. But I don't know. I think like taking care of like your body and your physical appearance inside and out, and just making sure that overall, like you really learn your brand, I think is really big.
That's good. And when you did train, how long did it take you to when like what year did you first start wrestling?
So I started training in September of 2017, and then I debuted like 5 months later or so. So it was at the beginning, or it was the end of February in 2018.
Did you pick up things really quick? Was it easy for you to pick up the things that they were teaching you?
Um, some things were easier than others. I think that the things that were easy, because I kind of like been in like athletics like my whole life, and I think that's where some people they tend to see, because it's like you might have a really athletic person that can pick up the basics of wrestling or be able to do moves and be able to do that quickly, but there's like a whole nother art and a whole nother thing like that's attached to the whole like wrestling business. So it's like mastering all of that and really being like good at it all around.
Yeah. So what was there a certain thing that you did to get AEW to see you? Like, did you reach out to them, or how did they find you?
I don't know. I try to like put myself out there a lot, as far as like if I was even like, okay, like instead of maybe just like tweeting at people like isn't the thing, like maybe if I do like a promo or something, so then it seems like a little bit more personal. Like you really do have to just like put yourself out there to get people to notice you, or else like they're
Yeah.
never gonna know who you are. And so that's how I think I was able to get a lot of my opportunities early, is because I would like travel and go to seminars, and maybe the winner of it all got to like be in the show, or they got to go over here and stuff. And so like even if you don't get picked, you're still getting connected with somebody and you're still getting seen. But I mean, like that's how I went to Mexico, was from a seminar. That's how like I got in Evolve, was from a seminar. That's how I got in Shimmer, was from a seminar. So they would have never called me. Like I had to make the initial move to be like, okay, like I'm putting myself out there, putting myself in front of you.
Was promos hard at first for you, or were you pretty confident in talking in front of a bunch of people?
I was comfortable talking in front of people because I did reporting before. But yeah, it's a totally different world, and like having to do promos. So just trying to like master that, I think it's still something. It's like I'm still trying to like work on and really trying to like figure out like how to really get connected with people. But like I've been lucky enough that it's like I'm not really like camera shy, because I know that's like a big thing that, or a big obstacle that some people have to get through before.
I've never well, maybe it's just because I started YouTube when I was 9 years old, so my whole life I've always been in front of a camera for 12 years. So
Yeah.
I'm the camera shy. Like whenever I would be out vlogging with my friends, there'd be some that'd be really nervous. I could never understand what that like how that works. It feels so natural to me. But is this the same?
Yeah.
Is it easier for you to talk in front of like 1,000 people versus 10 people? For some reason, I get so much anxiety if I'm doing something in front of one, maybe 5 people. But if you have a whole room filled up with it, it's like it's easier for me for some reason. I don't know why. Is that the same for you at all?
I don't know. Like you know how people say, they're like with what you're saying, like it's harder to talk in front of like less people. I feel like the more people, maybe it depends what I'm talking about. Like,
Really? Oh,
like I can't talk about like emotional things in front of a lot of people.
oh yeah. Like with a promo, like I guess doing a promo, like let's if you do a promo in front of 10 people, I feel like you can actually hear exactly their exact feedback. If they say something, like you could hear like word for word because there's less people. But if you have like a
Yeah,
full of 25,000 people, like
yeah.
it's you won't really hear as much. You'll get cheered or booed, but you won't hear the exact words that people are saying, like "Oh, you suck" or something like that. So yeah, in that aspect, now, that's my opinion, though.
Yeah, it's so different for everybody, and I don't know. I don't really know till I'm like in the situation, but I, yeah, I'm like it's easier if I have like a camera in front of my face. It's easy to just focus on the camera.
Oh yeah. What's the largest?
And lucky,
There'd be some that'd be really nervous. I could never understand what that like how that works.
yeah,
It feels so natural to me. But is this the same? Is it easier for you to talk in front of like 1,000 people versus 10 people? For some reason, I get so much anxiety if I'm doing something in front of one, maybe five people. But if you have a whole room filled up with it, it's like it's easier for me for some reason. I don't know why. Is that the same for you at all?
I don't know. Like you know how people say, they're like with what you're saying, like it's harder to talk in front of like less people. I feel like the more people, maybe it depends what I'm talking about. Like,
Really? Oh,
like I can't talk about like emotional things in front of a lot of people.
oh yeah. Like with a promo, like I guess doing a promo, like let's if you do a promo in front of 10 people, I feel like you can actually hear exactly their exact feedback. If they say something, like you could hear like word for word because there's less people. But if you have like a
Yeah,
full of 25,000 people, like
yeah.
it's you won't really hear as much. You'll get cheered or booed, but you won't hear the exact words that people are saying, like "Oh, you suck" or something like that. So yeah, in that aspect, now that's my opinion, though.
Yeah, it's so different for everybody, and I don't know. I don't really know till I'm like in the situation, but I, yeah, I'm like it's easier if I have like a camera in front of my face. It's easy to just focus on the camera.
Oh yeah. What's the largest amount of fans that you got to perform with? Because I know everything recently has been with the pandemic, though.
Um, I would say, because I know like when I was in Japan, there was about 1,500. Um, and I think when I was in Mexico, there was a little more than that. So the biggest crowds I've been in front of have been like overseas.
Yeah. Whenever they go back on the road, and if they have you do a dark match, would you be all for wrestling in front of like like a 5,000, 10,000 fan venue, or would
Oh
you get nervous?
yeah.
Do it?
Oh yeah, I would want to be in front of as many people as I can. I think that's like especially I don't know, for me, like I really do like feed off the fans, so I'm just like and I love them being there. So that's been an adjustment too, is like not having them.
Yeah. Oh, and then my last question is, but compared to wrestling in front of fans and wrestling in front of non-fans, is there what what's harder to you? Do you think it's harder to not to wrestle with no fans because there's nothing to really feed off of? You don't know if the match is going the wrong way or if you need to turn the direction of the match. Is it harder for you to wrestle with no fans?
Oh yeah, that I would definitely prefer them there. Because it's like I feel like that's kind of like what my goal is like I want to be like an escape from like oh my gosh, did my computer glitch?
Oh, you're good. I was wondering what it was.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I would rather them be there for sure.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
Well,
good day.
you too.